Well, I have been writing for a very long time. And one day I was walking in Oshiwara. This is about a couple of years ago. And there is a very famous restaurant there called Shiriji. And outside Shiriji, I saw a lot of strugglers, a lot of coordinators arguing. And the building, jahan par ye Shiriji hai, there are a lot of these photo studios which are audition studios actually. So I made my driver stop the car and I just kept watching them, and I realized that people would come with so many hopes and dreams and ambitions to the city, and actually how many people make it? Because the success rate I thought was just about 1 or 2%. And that actually clicked in my mind, and I said I must write about this. And in about 10 days, the line was ready. I had the line in front of me. And of course, later we worked on the script, which took a lot of time. But this is exactly how this story generated for the first time. It so happened that I knew somebody in Essel Vision, and a friend of mine then introduced me to Mr. Nitin Kenny. And Nitinji I knew for a very long time, earlier also, because being part of the film industry. And I gave him this idea. And of course, at that time, I didn't know कि ये किस format में जाने वाली है. It was just an idea. I said, sir, this seems like a brilliant idea, and why don't we give it a thought. He loved the idea. And then there was Mohan Gopinathji, who's heading the film department, and he was actively involved in this. And this was around September or October of last year. And we decided that we're going to make this film. And the decision of the company was that this should be the first digital film in India to be produced. And somewhere we would be creating history by making this the first. And it excited me, and I said, sure, sir. And from October to here we are with the picture complete and ready for release. I'm a student of cinema. I've been an assistant director for a very long time with some of the most successful directors in the film industry. And basically, I'm a trained director and a writer. Acting happened by chance to me, which I've said earlier also many times. And this was the right time for me to realize my dreams as a filmmaker, because my father had been a very successful filmmaker himself. And he had produced a lot of films and directed a lot of films. And that is what I always wanted to do too. So, you see, for me, content is most important. Whenever the content is strong, content means it's like the pillars of a building. If the pillars are very strong of the building, then it's very easy to construct floors. Actors are very, very important aspect of filmmaking. Because I feel that the writer may write the best scene in the world. A director might compose the finest shot in the world. But it is the actor, he is the vehicle who takes this thought of the writer and director to the audience. So the choosing of actors is a very, very important aspect. And because this was a compact film, I mean in the sense that I knew that this is not going to have a theatrical release. So we were not looking at it from the other point of view where we could, look for names. Whereas we thought that let us pick up and choose actors who fit the role. For example, Kritika Sengar. I mean, I had watched her in Jhansi Ki Rani, and I had watched her in Punarvivah. These are two serials, and I always thought that she's a brilliant actress. At the same time, the boy Sharad, I was looking for a very sensitive boy, and nowadays we have boys with huge structures, tough kids, and that is what I was not looking for. And I was lucky that I found him. I needed a sensitive face, a face that could, be delicate, be soft. Similarly, all my other actors, uh, they've done a commendable job. And like I said earlier, it's the content that works, nothing else. It's not that I didn't take Nikitin. It's just that he didn't suit this role. You know, it's so important. I mean, irrespective of the fact that he's my son, I love him though, and I know he's a brilliant actor. He's proved himself. But you know, every actor has limitations. I mean, I could further go up on this and say that what Mr. Dilip Kumar could do, Mr. Amitabh Bachchan cannot do, and what Amitabh Bachchan can do, a Rishi Kapoor cannot do, and what a Rishi Kapoor can do, maybe a Kamala Hassan can't do. So every actor has his or her own limitation. Uh, Similarly, Nikitin has his limitations, physical limitations, and this was not a role for him. Uh, and so the reason that I chose another boy. He's doing well for himself. You know, I I'm not a very rich man, so I could not launch him because you need a lot of money, you know, to launch a film, especially with a newcomer. So I just told him one thing, boy, there are different ways of coming into this industry. One is that you get launched. You're lucky that you get launched. But if you don't, you still got to come in. And I said, you got to fight your way through. I've taught you how to swim. I said, there lies the ocean, and you must dive in and now do it on your own. And he's been very lucky that, you know, people like Salman, people like Shah Rukh have put their trust in him. They love him like a younger brother, and you know, that way I would say that he's been a very lucky boy. Now that he's proved himself in a couple of films that he's done, he's got a lot of offers. He's picking and choosing. So I can only wish him the best of luck as a father and a friend. This film is very strange. The upper layer is one of fun. It's a feel-good factor film. But the underbelly of the script is reality. So it's a very strange combination of two layers in which I have to confuse the audiences for a very long time. And the idea is new, absolutely new. Nor is it borrowed, nor is it picked up from any American or British or Czechoslovakian film. It's an original thought. And for that, you know, I would like to hold back those secrets in the sense that I would want the audiences to first see it and then get jolted in the film. If I had to tell my whole story here, then there was no meaning in making the film, you know. No, I mean, I never had a godfather. But I do respect all my seniors because I believe in one thing, that when you're here, every day is a day of learning. You're learning every day. You're learning from people around you. You're learning by watching films. You're learning by seeing great performances. Even your juniors, for that matter. And for me, learning will always go on as long as I live, because the day a person says that I know everything, it's over. So this is like music, you know. It's like any art has no end. So learning for me never ends. So no godfather as such, but I have picked up a lot of nuances, lots of beautiful things from lovely people in this industry. You may have a godfather temporarily, but at the end what matters is class. You have to have it in you to be a derby runner. If you want to be an actor of repute, you have to have it in you. You have to have the qualities. You have to have the bearing of an actor. Because definitely believe in the fact that either you are an actor or you're not an actor. There's a definite bifurcation. I mean, it's not that, yes, one does polish oneself in his journey of life, but it's like either you're a singer or you're not. And that decision is one of self analysis. You must make a self analysis of yourself. And, you know, uh, for example, Salman Khan, I think he's an international face. I don't think there's anybody in the world today who is as charismatic, as good looking, as charming as he is. Similarly, Mr. Amitabh Bachchan, I think he's one of the greatest actors in the world. And yes, he has not done a British or an American film, but that does not take away the fact that the man has an amazing personality on screen. So these things, have to be there. Godfather or no Godfather. Mr. Bachchan never had a Godfather. Pran Saab never had a Godfather. Mr. Dilip Kumar never had a Godfather. But they had it in them. So I don't think that it's important that you have to have a Godfather. Basically, when I was a little child, like all children do, I must have lied a couple of times. But my mother beat me to hell, and I got scared. And she instilled this fear in me that don't lie. And believe me, I don't lie. I don't lie. I'm a very simple man with simple tastes. So for me, lying has never been part of my life, you know. So for me, at this moment of time, to remember something like this would take a lot of time. I don't remember the last time I lied.
Oh, okay. That was fun talking to you.
Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.